There's a new super irrelevant Fox host named Tom Sillhue, something like that. And since he's irrelevant, he's going to try to make a name for himself here, talking about Black Lives Matter. Watch him go further than any of the other Fox hosts even dare to go on this.
Right.
I think it's shut it down time. I think it's ridiculous.
Right.
And I think that this is criminal stuff. These organizations, it's not a civil rights movement. Call it what it is. It's a lie from the beginning. And these protests, I'm going to put a lot of responsibility, not just a little bit. It contributed to. This is a violent group. I think it's time to shut them down. And the federal government's not going to do it. I think the state governors should go in, and when there's protests, shut them down. People are drunk on rights in this country. These people are violent. It's horrible, and I think they should go in there and do whatever they have to.
These people are drunk on rights in this country. That would be the country that the founders wanted. That would be what the Constitution calls for. The whole purpose of rights, the whole purpose of a Constitution, is that they are not debatable. That's the idea. Hey, you limit the federal government in these areas. If the government tries to stop you from doing free expression or having a protest, they can't do it. They can't do it. That's what freedom is. He's like, on this issue, I disagree with those people. So just shut it down. Quote, shut it down. He says it's not a civil rights movement. Oh, well, thank you, Mr. Random Fox host who nobody knows about, for telling Black Lives Matter what their official movement is really for. Now, I'm sick of this. What they're trying to do here is link things that are not connected. They're trying to say, hey, Black Lives Matter is connected to a recent murder of an officer from a guy who had a documented history of mental illness. They're trying to say, oh, it's because of Black Lives Matter, it's because of Black Lives Matter. Really? Really? How do you know that? How do you know that? And furthermore, if you're so convinced, can you point me to where in the Black Lives Matter charter it says, hey, we want you to kill cops? Wink, nod. All this talk about peace and trying to get them to stop killing us, we don't mean that. We mean we want you to kill them. Now, to be totally clear here, there was a protest recently where they were chanting something about pigs in a blanket, fry them like bacon. It was violent rhetoric, and it was at a protest. They were marching, and Black Lives Matter people were saying that. Do I think that's okay? Absolutely not. I condemned it yesterday. I'll condemn it again today. That's counterproductive. It's not intelligent, and you're fighting fire with fire. You're saying violence is so wrong that now I want to do violence against cops. That doesn't make sense. That's a contradiction. You're becoming the opposite extreme. You're becoming the devil that you're trying to avoid if you do that. So I totally disagree with them on that. But having said that, you can't point to a single fucking case of anybody actually being killed as a result of Black Lives Matter. You can't do it because it doesn't fucking exist. And look at their policy proposals. That's the core of Black Lives Matter. They're not hiding what they're about. They're telling you what they're about, and you're insisting, no, you're not about what you say you're about. You're about this other thing that I'm going to make up and make connections that aren't there. You secretly want all the cops in America to be killed, and you should be shut down because apparently this guy doesn't believe in the Constitution. You're not a civil rights movement. For fuck's sake, man, they're calling for demilitarization of the police so the police stop killing them. And not say, hey, don't get rid of all of your weapons. That's not what they're saying. They're saying, get rid of the tanks. Get rid of the military-grade equipment. Enough here. This is ridiculous. Are we living in an official police state? I guess we are. They're saying, hey, can we do community oversight? So boards of people from the community look at what the cops do, and they can say, oh, okay, this area they're being fucked up, that area they're doing okay, and they can look over everything. That's what they're asking for. They're asking for very sane, straightforward things. Independent prosecutors. They're saying, hey, if a police officer kills an unarmed person, can we not have that police officer's buddy, the prosecutor, be tasked with trying to prosecute his friend? He's not going to do it. We've seen it time and time again. How many officers have killed unarmed black people and then, whoop, we didn't even get an indictment. The old saying is you can indict a ham sandwich because all you need to do in an indictment is present your side of the case. You don't need to give the defense. These guys gave the defense too. Why? Because they wanted the cop to get off. They wanted the cop to get off. So they're saying special prosecutors, body cameras on all cops. That's what they're calling for. So that if/when they do something fucked up, hey, we have it on video. Now, is it guaranteed we're going to get a conviction in every case, even with the video? No. But studies do show that cops are less likely to engage in the bad actions to begin with when they are recorded. These are the very specific things that Black Lives Matter are calling for, and you brought up fully none of them in your ridiculous little rant there. In fact, what he admitted in that rant is, I am going to declare war on them. He just said, shut it down by any means necessary. Shut it down, shut it down. So when people in a supposedly free country do a peaceful protest, you say, I don't like their content matter, I'm going to shut them down purely based off that. Well, that makes you, my friend, a tyrant. That makes you a dictator. That makes you an authoritarian. That makes you a fascist. That makes you an ultra-right-winger who does not believe in freedom and does not believe in the Constitution. So the next time you go to talk about guns in America and you want to say, Second Amendment, Second Amendment, Second Amendment, Second Amendment, nobody can argue against it, Second Amendment, it's written in stone, it's basically from God. Next time you say that, shut the fuck up and don't say it. You want to know why? Because you flip-flop on the Constitution like nobody's fucking business. You only care about it when it's convenient. When it's inconvenient, like, oh, when black people are using their rights, now I feel like taking away their fucking rights. What a pathetic joke you are.